So, I have one agenda change, recognizing Doug Grant, president, in the meeting. I was hoping that we could, move the new business items to the beginning of the meeting and proceed from there. I've already, noted Doug's presence, so we'll just be moving that up.
So you want to start with him instead of Julie?
We can toss either way.
Sure,
Yeah,
Doug's
yeah,
fine.
Doug
We can
is,
start with Doug.
Julie said Doug.
I copy for you.
So Brian,
Yeah, so we had a Fairfield Pond Association meeting on Saturday, and we had an election of the new officers. And we, Demetrius Holduck has agreed to be the secretary treasurer, the outgoing Pond Association president. And Dennis Hendy agreed to, even though he was in Maine, he agreed to be our vice president. And I was nominated to be the new president for the Pond Association. And I said I would do that if anyone that in attendance, and it was pretty well attended, there must have been 40 people there. And I said I would do that if someone would consider taking my slot on Franklin County Regional Planning, Northwest Regional Planning. And Doug, I think with some enthusiasm, but Doug was intrigued and agreed that he would do that. So except for my wife's negative vote, I was voted president. And
She's a smart woman.
yeah. And so I invited Doug to this meeting and asked to put him on the agenda to have the Franklin County, the Fairfield Selectboard consider appointing Doug as our representative for Northwest Regional Planning. And he was kind enough to volunteer to come tonight if there's any questions. And I will make the handoff if the board is willing to Catherine Dimitrick to make sure that there's a good handoff and, you know.
Why don't we keep you on as the alternate?
No,
That's a great idea.
I made a conditional acceptance.
Well, we're not making a conditional, we're going to accept your thing, so this would
No,
work out
Doug-
great. Doug does the first and you'll be the backup, we'll be all in shape.
So, yeah, I promised my wife that I would trade one for one, so I think it's a package deal, but, anyways, I think the agenda item is, I make a motion that we appoint Doug Grant to be our representative at Northwest Regional Planning. And as a point of information, Doug is an expert on solar and he has a wind turbine, and he was the previous Pond Association president, so he understands water quality, and I think he'd be an outstanding representative on Northwest Regional Planning.
I'll second that for sure.
Who's Doug?
For here.
I assume he's the only guy in the background.
Yeah.
say hi.
Come on, man, it's outdated.
Yeah, I put Doug Grant, obviously, and,
Sit down, Doug.
I'm Dave.
Hi.
Let's get you.
Do you know Francis?
Well, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
And he's
I get called
in
Mike and
spirit.
Jerry a lot too, so.
In spirit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You and Gavin? Do you know,
Tom Morgan?
yeah. So I've lived on the pond just about all my life, and I've always been interested in what's going on the pond and trying to keep things going. And I've also, like Brian said, I've been an electrician for most of my life, so I'm interested in the energy portion of the organizations to get around. So, yes, I'd like to work on that type of thing with the regional people.
Sure.
So, any questions or anything?
You guys think it'll work? I'd go for it.
As long as somebody's there and the voice helps.
Yeah.
See what you can find, some things come to Fairfield way, because
Yeah.
some decide to St. Albans or the Bay or
Right.
other areas.
Well, people need to recognize that the pond goes right to the lake, so
Yeah.
all one system.
Yes, as long
We're
as you
gonna do
can.
some studying anyways, right, from
Kent's group,
Kent?
Northern.
Yeah, Kent was there and made a nice presentation. He had, the engineer, Evan Fitzgerald, and his other Ashley,
The
couple.
young woman was
Couple
doing
overseas.
Yeah,
Yeah.
AmeriCorps.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're kicking off a study. They're gonna walk up tributaries. They're gonna go around the shoreline. Gonna interview landowners. They're looking for 30 projects that they're gonna narrow down to 3 or 4. And later in the meeting, we were gonna talk about an intriguing thing with the outlet. I don't think we can bring it up. We don't need to bring it up now, but there's beaver dams have dammed up the outlet. So the outlet is dry, and it's owned by the village of Swanton. So it's interesting. There's some history. Probably you all know it better than I, but
You mean the water going out in that pipe, or?
No,
No.
this is the actual outlet where the Swanton owns the dam at
Okay.
the outlet.
Okay, yeah.
By the White
On French Hill, Park there.
No,
No,
right on
no, no.
Swizzler's
Oh,
corner.
down on the corner.
Paul Ritter, whatever you call it.
Right on the corner of the White.
Seems like you better bring Peter Martin back in. He used to be able to dispose of them properly.
Yeah.
well, this one's been so the village of Swanton owns a 2.6 acre lot there, and periodically they have broken the dam down. But it might be a time to kind of revisit. Like right now the water level in the pond is causing erosion that hasn't happened before because the water level is significantly higher
Because of this beaver dam system.
because of beaver dams. And so, and as I said, it's owned by the village of Swanton. So I'd like to have a discussion later in the new business to have a dialogue with the village of Swanton to say, one, do they have any interest? The pipe that existing goes to the Ralph Farm and Macy Farm. And there is no more, the village of Swanton no longer gets their drinking water from the Fairfield Pond. I guess they used to. But the village manager confirmed that it's the Macy Farm and the Ralph Farm are the only 2 recipients of the water.
There used to be several houses on
Yeah, I think there still is, but
Yeah.
secretly.
Oh,
There's a lot of tops in there, no doubt.
No, there's quite a few taps in there.
Okay, well, that's new information.
Yeah.
The Sheldon Selectboard, Tom, what's his name, he said there's a couple, Tom Callan, he said that the town of Sheldon has a couple fire hydrants on the pipe. So I didn't know about the homes. But
Yeah, because wasn't that a deal with those 2 farms when it was put through, when we went through the land, they were able to tap onto it for a water source?
that
Because
was,
wasn't there an argument a few years ago about if they cut it off, they were gonna cut that pipe off, and they were gonna have to do something for them with water
right.
because of the previous agreement. And that's the way I understood it.
Yeah,
I could be fooled.
that's right, that's true.
yeah, I think the pond association's interest mostly is how to, not have a situation where there's a monthly trying to fight beavers, which is a losing battle. And there are standpipes that you can guard from a beaver, so you set the level and not have to battle the beavers, and
Yeah.
put a standpipe there and kind of have a final solution. And that's probably a dialogue that we would have to have with the village of Swan, since they own the land. Maybe they're interested in getting rid of the land. Town of Fairfield might be interested in, having the land, having access and control of that land. But we could talk about that in new business.
So first, I guess we need to take a vote on putting Doug in position.
All those in favor? Opposed?
Congratulations!
You're in.
Just come back once in a while and tell us what you're doing.
Yeah, for sure.
Or send word.
For sure. How often do they meet? Once a month?
Once a month.
So I'll see you once a month, at least.
Well, keep after the bridges, cause that's how one of them got down there. Somebody went there every meeting there once.
All right.
Good, thanks,
Well,
Doug.
thanks, I
Thank you.
appreciate you doing that.
Thank you, Doug, good luck.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Julie?
I don't know if all of you know Meg Patton, she's on the community center board. She actually just joined the pond association.
Yeah, congratulations.
This is information from.
Double duty now.
Double duty.
Yeah. But Tom, or
This is very,
you know
Yeah, that's
Melissa?
great.
I know what.
Kathy Ainsworth, the town
Hi.
administrator. Gavin Ryan,
Nice to meet you.
Ron Bowcat.
My neighbor.
Yeah, oh, she is.
Pond Road is well
No, Ron
represented.
is, yeah.
Right.
This pond
How you
road is
doing,
well
Mike?
represented, yeah.
Let's go that down to Tom's community board.
Get one? So we did our homework. I think when I came to you a month ago, you asked us to prioritize the projects and also to get firm numbers on the west end and on the pizza oven. So I think all of that is here.
So is Meg part of the community center over there too?
Oh, yes, I'm
Yeah,
sorry, she's
I'm
on the board.
Nice.
Yeah, she has been a year and a half. 2 years.
Yeah, not, well, close to 2 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you're right. Time flies when you're having so much fun.
So this is kind of a list of the 5 projects you'd like and kind of the order that you've seen being.
That was, yes, the center board did us prioritize them by ranking them individually, and then we just averaged rankings.
And in the back, I included your quotes, the two quotes.
Oh, good, and the information they got, which Meg, you don't have, so there was a quote from the folks doing the West End renovation, and,
I got it in the attachment.
Okay.
I did look at those.
oh, good. Anyone has questions or thoughts?
I'm surprised they put the signage above the renovation.
Me too.
You did? No.
But it's
Well,
the way-
it's
it's the
important
way
for
that-
people to know that it's there.
Yeah,
There's
there
no
really is
sign right now.
no sign on the building.
It
but-
is, there's no.
But
like,
it wasn't the
even-
top of my list.
Yeah. No, but when we play baseball games over there, everybody drives into East Fairfield, they're like, where the hell is
Right.
anything over here?
Yeah.
You know, so.
Good piece of plywood.
Yeah.
Right, that's right, we have a sign inside.
Mo's got a Sharpie, he likes making signs.
He's asleep.
Yeah.
One of those banner things for a lot less than $6,300 last
Yeah.
for a year.
Right, yeah, but the buildings, there's nothing even on the
Yeah.
buildings. But that can be broken down, you know, that 6,300 includes a major sign for the meeting house on the green, which,
So you're talking about the meeting house and the community
Right.
center,
Right.
so kind of the whole
yes. that-
green there, everything that's
Yeah.
there.
Yeah. And they're manufactured signs by Watson.
Something that's not gonna fade away in 2
Right.
years.
Right, I think they're well-made, professional.
Playground stuff, you're talking on the backside near the driveway.
Yeah, it's the
Kids,
preschool playground that's closest to the road, to the,
So some
Ball field.
significant,
There's a baseball, like.
right, where you drive in the
The
baseball.
one that's kind of fenced off and
yeah,
not
it's,
really used and kind of.
it's in pretty rough shape. I mean, I think
Yeah, no, we can.
the
that's for
playground
sure.
equipment is built with pallets, and the fence is, I think this is its second use. probably.
So you think we'll put a shed.
They would like a short storage shed and a couple nature-based play stations. And a sand new sandbox. It's just framed now with logs.
What's the total land pool?
I didn't total at all.
The total of all these?
When you talk to the construction guys about remodeling, did they have anything to say about any upgrades you'd have to do as far as fire or?
No, though I did contact a Division of Fire Safety and
Yeah.
applied for a permit, because that's the way you start, that's the way you get any information, even if you're
Yeah,
not
to get them to do
doing
anything.
work, and I haven't heard back from them, but it's, the placement of the emergency lights will
You
not
think
be
they-
affected.
You
So
don't
I
think they'll have to sprinkle it
I don't
all
believe
in
so,
or anything?
the occupancy will not change. But, you know, the guy I spoke with said, you know, I can't really give you that information.
Right, to
over the
apply
phone.
and you get, yeah.
And they need to do a site visit.
No, I'm just saying that'll
Yeah.
change, could change that number. if
It
they
could,
got
but
crazy
I
on that.
don't think,
I'm at 6759.
What is it, Captain?
I'm at 6759, $60,759.
Julie, for that heat pump, is that for, what's the primary heat in there currently?
it's propane.
So
basically.
this would be like cooling in summer, or?
Yeah, and also it does heating in the winter, yeah.
Yeah, well, it's good to like, have you used one? Have you used one?
Only at the community center.
We have
So
them in the summer,
Yeah.
The
on the other end.
the east side has,
What kind of luck do you when it's below 20 degrees, does it work? I mean,
Still have to use the propane some.
yeah,
some, but not a lot, not a ton.
really?
Yeah. And one reason we need two heads is because in the food shelf, the room of the food shelf where the freezers are, and a big cooler, glassware cooler, we run air conditioner all summer and into the fall. So one of the heads for the heat pump would be in that room, and supply that air conditioning for that room.
It's also, well, we hope that it changes and it's used, that space is used all the time, but it's convenient because we can set it on, like remotely or on a schedule where you can have it warm up before people go in and cool down, you know. I know you can do that with propane probably too, but, it's a little bit easier to control remotely, but make sure we not overusing the heat from air conditioning, to kind of keep the climate controlled better.
Yeah, well, a thermostat could be a part of that. I mean, you know, like, if, like that's a thermostat issue, so I don't disagree with, a heat pump can be controlled, but so can
Yeah,
so if we're doing a renovation and there's an electrician, there's electricians, but, I mean, if that's part of, trying to use less power, have the whole plan, like,
Yeah. Still invited to come visit anytime. Tuesdays are great. Midday on. We're hopping.
Have you had energy efficiency come through for lights and stuff?
Um,
Heat, everything?
I think Brian Steele has kept us abreast, but I'm not sure, Tom, when the last energy audit we had.
I know there's a lot of new lights and
Yeah,
circulation and all that stuff now, especially with COVID, they have money
Yeah.
for that.
yeah, well, I think the heat pumps do move a lot of air too,
There's
which is nice.
a fairly good rebate on right now too.
Yeah, yes.
What are we left with right now in ARPA?
Oh man, I didn't bring that spreadsheet, but I can go get it. It was, I think we brought it to the last meeting. Does anybody have the minutes, their packets from last meeting?
I think it's in the minutes. Or we talked
I
about
can
it.
go through them all.
If you, it's like,
427, it's in the meeting,
is it in there?
427,000 unallocated ARPA funds.
And we're talking 60 for all of this.
And you could mention about 50 something so far between the water meters and the roof for the study for that.
No, I think
I'm gonna grab my
we
spreadsheet.
did for about 150 with the short, the packs.
44 for the fire department.
Right, no, I was just talking, you know, to balance each, because everyone's gonna say, well, you give this part, you give this part that. No, that's gonna go. So I'm just trying to think so
No,
far.
that's what I was
maybe
trying to look
about
at.
50.
What's our,
Yeah,
Balance it out.
well, you're not gonna ever balance it.
no.
Just give me my gear. It's hard, 'cause a lot of the other stuff is, you know, air compressor, meters, it's easier to see and
Right.
not that one's anymore.
Right. I think they got most of the water meters. I saw Donnie Mendon today. They got most of the water meters already installed.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, we appreciate whatever you think these projects deserve. We do a lot of grant writing too.
When you do grant writing, which is the hardest to get money for?
Yeah.
You know, I mean, that, in my mind, that's how I'd be looking at it.
It
It's
is
like,
operating, general
Yeah.
operating expenses.
you know, I mean, I think we should put some money in this. I'm just wondering which would get the biggest bang for the buck, or you might be able to get some grant
Yeah.
for some of this stuff, but
I'm-
not other.
I feel a little, the Pavilion grant has really kind of.
You done with grants for a little while?
But, yeah, I don't know, Gavin.
Yeah.
The things that we need to support the center, like salaries and just general operating, you don't often get grants for.
Yeah.
The little things we sometimes can, but it's often a delay. You know, we might not get it the first round, we might get it the next year.
They put such conditions on, then in the long run, it costs you more than originally
Right.
if you just stayed away from it.
Right. I mean, and I think you've seen that in the town for your federal grants, for sure. So it's a hard question to answer.
And if you look at it, what the signage, I don't like that, right? Because I live in town, my wife wouldn't know where that place was if it wasn't for baseball, right?
Yeah.
And that kind of gives you a free, not a free, but a public facing advertising without actively doing.
Right. And the playground, I don't know if you do stop, the contrast with a 5 through 12 playground and a preschool playground is striking. And we put in about 14,000 into the 5 through 12 playground in the last couple of years. And it's really functional and safe. And the preschool playground is not at all. And if you come on Tuesdays, when all the folks are coming in and come into the West End, you'll see kind of how we could use that space much better.
Inside the building.
Rather
Yeah.
than inside.
It's just chopped up right now.
Yeah, it's just small rooms.
So you have senior lunches there again on Tuesdays like you used to?
We're hoping to start August 2nd, but we have having a hard time finding a cook.
Okay.
But we do provide community meals to 65 folks that come and pick them up. And then they can get produce and deli items and breads and pastries.
So that West End would be kind of dedicated to that,
Yes,
supporting the food shelf. Because
Yeah.
right now you've got kind of that first room where you walk in and
correct. And then the,
cooler room on the side.
right. Yeah, we would just have more ways to circulate people, more area to set up the produce. Yeah, we go through almost a ton and a half of food every month in that small space.
When you renovate that, Are you gonna need new, does that include the counter space or cupboards and,
No. No,
how much of that will you need?
Not a lot.
Refrigerators?
because I think we like the flexibility of having tables that we can move
Yep.
and set up. And so we can use that space for in different ways at
Yep.
different times.
Right, you're not confined to,
One part of this project, I think that will be down the road is, there is a partial kitchen in the west end, and you probably add a stove to that, and maybe larger sinks, but that's not part of this proposal now. I think that would be a grant that would go for it.
well, I was just thinking, that's what you think about now. If you're gonna open it up, have a contractor and an electrician.
Right, but it's simple, the kitchen renovation would be simple, because there's a T-in to the propane line for a gas stove, the sink's already there. But I think, yeah, it'd be great to have that space more usable, and not just storage.
Camp. Which is also important.
It can be important, yeah, there's 50 to 60 kids there every week. This summer. Every day, every week.
So that's still pretty successful then.
Oh, yeah.
Good.
Very.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we're done. Yes.
Thanks for all the work,
You're welcome.
Yes.
very organized.
Last time you came, you were talking about doing some renovation inside, you dropped that part.
No, West End renovation.
Right.
Yeah, it's the
Back there.
third one, yeah.
Well,
It's the big ticket.
Hidden in there.
That's right. That was my number one. I got outvoted.
I do actually, because we look at it. It's all important though.
Mhm.
So what's our remaining balance now, Kathy? Is that the 427?
Yeah, so we have, the beginning balance was $291,901. We've assigned $156,550. The balance as of June 2022 was $135,350. And we're expecting another installment, a county and local installment equating to $291,901. And we're expecting that in November, so the timing on that is a little,
We're expecting it in November now.
I looked it up to see when it was coming, and it was October,
When you-
November.
When you say expected, what does expected mean?
Expected means that they've quoted us and it's already appropriated, it's just not, we haven't,
Right,
we
but
haven't
could it be 400,000 or
it's not gonna go
40,000
down or up, it's gonna
Okay.
be $291,901.26.
So it's guaranteed money,
Yeah.
just don't know when you get it.
Last year it came October, November, so I'm thinking this year, maybe October.
And is that the last of that?
That'll be the last installment for our ARPA funds.
So the other thing to think, do we want to assign another 60 out of that until we know when we've got the other money? Because I've seen guaranteed money not show up before.
This project you do this year was,
So the signs, we probably would. The West End, we'd probably get some, late fall. The police school playground, probably would want to do the fencing this fall and maybe the equipment, over the winter. The gardens would be next year. Pizza oven could be anytime. We'd use that right away. So there's some flexibility.
Is the pizza oven and the raised bed something you could chase grants for? I mean, is that type of stuff?
I actually have grants out for them right now.
I was just thinking those are something.
I was gonna say, to me, that's not a high priority in my mind, to be
Yeah.
honest.
Right.
Some of the
Yeah.
the playground thing I can get behind.
Yeah. Yeah,
Make
I do
sense
have-
of some of the other.
I do have a
I think the signage is something you require.
Right.
Yeah,
I think the pizza oven, I see priority because it is an income generator.
It's a month, yeah.
And it's.
Pay for itself for the year, right?
It
Pay for
could be.
itself for the year, right?
Yeah.
Depends on how many pizzas you bring.
Yeah,
How many people you bring. Come on up.
Yeah. $10 a pizza, let's see. 500 pizzas? No, did I do that right?
yeah, 600.
What if we do 1, 2, and 3 right now?
That would come to $53,869.
That's kind of the way I'm leaning, is my thinking, I think.
Yeah.
I'm not saying the others aren't feasible to keep in mind, keep thinking about, but
Mm-hmm.
Well, we could have a second round of this too. We do 1, 2, 3 tonight and then pursue the grants, give us an update in 6 months. You know,
Yeah, I should know on the grants in the fall, I believe.
Yeah.
September. On those two.
What's the number?
I'm gonna do the math again, just quickly here.
You don't use the wood fire now very much, or?
We do, yeah, but
But-
it's smoky, it's just not, it doesn't draw
I mean,
well.
for another $5,000, it's something you could use and make it easier.
Yeah, we could use it right away, and the unit that we're looking at is a portable unit, so
So
that.
you could go to the fairs.
That's
and-
right.
You-
We need 4 people to carry it, we have volunteers.
You said it was
It's about-
portable. You said
It's 400
Get it on
pounds.
wheels. you said.
400 pounds, it will be on wheels, but then you gotta pave the parking lot, right?
That's a whole
Does it come in a
discussion.
trailer? It comes in a lift truck? There's no wheels on it, right? Or
No, this price includes a stand that does have caster wheels.
Oh.
But there's not the terrain over there to do it, but.
yeah,
It's a
trouble
good
with being portable, it might get lost
No, it
sometimes.
won't, it's 400 pounds, I mean, it's not that important,
They're pretty resourceful people and
yeah.
You can still barrel a syrup. They still
That's right.
We can chain it down.
So it's 52.
Tom, did you ever thought about that? Like, because I was thinking about a motion 53,869 for the first 3.
It's
Wow, if
actually,
you're gonna do 3, I would do 4.
I got that wrong, actually. It's 52,969. I threw in an extra $900.
I'd like to second Tom's.
I can't
I think Tom must drive by and get lunch there every now and
He
then.
does it.
Fresh pizza.
Maybe we would treat him to it.
Yeah, but you said you had a grant in for the pizza oven?
Yeah, though it's not written for a portable one, it's written for a home built one. So I'm not sure how we can handle that, but, again, grants.
If you threw in the pizza oven, it would be 58,759. 58,759.
You think, Gavin?
Just money.
We've asked others to do 10%, but is that something that's not out of the question kind of thing? Like the water.
We
Maybe
would
water
be
districts.
grateful for whatever you would.
But is the community center set
Do
up?
they have funds enough to
Yeah,
match
They have
10%?
funds enough to do 10%?
$6,000.
Yeah, 5,800.
I would say we don't ask that this group. I think this
50.
is all nonprofit.
I make a motion,
At least has
I make a
steady
motion that we fund the proposal for ARPA grants for capital improvements for the community center to the tune of $59,000.
58,759?
Yeah, I said $59,000.
59,000?
And you can go talk to Alec Hudak and get some raised beds going and tell them the Fairfield board is beating you over the head, they wanna lower his price. Being a Fairfield boy, he'll probably.
Go cut some cedar trees.
Yeah, he was giving up to us that price is at cost, so,
No, I'm sure it is.
yeah.
Find somebody to go to Cedar Swamp, cut some trees down, dig them down, do them, won't
Yeah.
cost them much.
Yeah, do you still have a lot on the Cedar Swamp?
Down, I throw it.
No, I meant every farm had a lot.
We don't have any cedar trees.
Yeah,
No, but everybody had a lot.
Everyone had
There's
a lot,
lots.
like even our place had a lot in the
And
Cedar
Cedar Swamp?
Yeah.
Yeah,
You look at the.
Your
old-
place up there?
yeah,
Really?
because we didn't have any cedar.
Never heard that one before.
Me neither.
There's all kinds of old little lots. Most of them are gone now, but.
So they were like 3 5-acre lots kind of deep?
Yeah, they were
Yeah.
deeded to farms for folks.
The only one I know has a lot, I mean, it's up out by the old, granite farm, right? Up on the Ryan Road there, there's a lot of cedar trees there.
Yeah, there's a lot of cedars up in there.
Big
Megan,
ones.
So you're
Megan,
thinking 1 through 40?
Megan's got a big.
I'd like to
Like
figure
those
it out.
cedars, yeah. I don't have a farm though.
Yeah, playground equipment, I mean, I think that's a good investment. I mean,
Okay, I'll second that.
So 59,000 is what we have.
I would make it. I suppose it doesn't matter. Yeah, no, you're good. I like that.
Any other comments? All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed?
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
It's amazing.
Yeah, that's awesome.
We
So-
appreciate what you guys do over there. There's a lot.
You could ask us for a swimming pool, then we, like our neighbors.
No, that's,
We're saving a bunch of money. We're gonna get a
We
playground
just send them
here.
up to the pond. That's all we gotta do.
that's right.
Send it down to the creek.
We'll come up and check it out.
So in terms of technical details, I'll put together an agreement with requirements for ARPA,
Okay,
and you'll sign it, and the select board will sign it. And then once we have that signed, we can issue a check.
okay.
And in terms of this installment, will you be able to spend it by March of 2023?
Yes,
Okay, great. Good answer. Otherwise it
Keep
gets
it simple,
complicated.
very
Yeah,
It gets
simple,
complicated.
just,
yeah.
yeah. We
Well, they
don't need
check until they
complicated
get
stuff.
stuff, will they?
No, well,
Or is there interest on this?
no, we can issue a check as soon as we have an agreement. It's like a grant, and then we have requirements of the entities, numbers of people impacted, and
Yeah, reporting is very helpful. I mean, it's very
Yeah.
helpful for us that when we
Yeah.
have to go through the rectal exam 6 months or a year from now,
Right,
it would be good to have as much paper. Paper is good,
yeah,
quotes,
yeah, and we've got, I mean, we have to record all the data for
Yeah.
the food shelf, for
quotes,
camp,
quotes are really helpful.
yeah,
Yeah, accountability,
yeah.
I think we can provide.
transparency.
Well, thank you, this is great news.
Yeah, it is.
It really is.
Megan's gonna do all the painting.
Yes,
I will.
it's all just grow with, that's all right.
While you're here, do you want to hear about the pavilion resolution? The grant came through, and we can skip forward on the agenda maybe to include information about. On my report, I was gonna be bringing up some requirements around the pavilion project. Is that okay with the select board? So we did get the grant agreement from the state. So we've spent money, we need to be reimbursed. In order to be reimbursed, they needed to know exactly how much we needed to spend. The amount that we can get reimbursed is $100,430. And the requirement of that money is two things. One is that we need to have a grant agreement resolution signed by the select board and approved. And we need to open a separate checking account that the money can be deposited into through the bank. So those are the two requirements, last things that we need to do in order to actually be able to get reimbursed. So I'm requesting that the select board approve the resolution, which I have here, and a motion also to approve the opening of a separate checking account so that we can receive that funding.
So wasn't the bid 75,000?
It was, and then do you want to talk about some of the increases that went through?
Yeah, so the bid was just for the pavilion itself.
The actual construction of the.
Right, right, but then there was some pre-bid expenses. You know, we had some site work done for the FEMA floodplain relief. We're paying Emily Cloft at Northwest Regional Planning for her time.
She's the overall administrator of the VCDP activities related to the grant agreement. So in terms of time spent, I think we talked in the very beginning about not wanting this to be a cumbersome thing on the town administrator.
Right.
I wasn't here at that time. But then we decided that they could be that person.
Yeah.
So,
We're also paying for a clerk of the works, which is Jim, to make sure that, the bids went out right and that the building is built to specifications.
and
Other
they're
costs coming in?
they're processing, so they're looking at all of the invoices before they come to me and acknowledging whether that work got done or not. And then if the invoices come to me, they've acknowledged that the work was done, and I have their approval as along with the community center. So I just issue that to the select board. And then the money that was originally, we've spent $33,000 at this point of the community center's money. And it's in limbo because we have to open this account and we didn't have the grant.
For this project already.
Right, I think originally it was just
we-
gonna be a line item.
It was only gonna be a line item before, and now what I've received from,
Right, but we put 18,000 in their account, right?
mhm,
Isn't that the account we're working out of?
it is, and then what was the rest? I'm gonna have to look it up. You approved some invoices over the last few weeks that I don't have a copy of your, approved, AP for that with me, but I can look it up if you like.
But I think the only thing different here is that you need a separate checking account. You
Yeah.
can't kind of do it in-house, right?
Right, and we needed to make sure that the person, our contractor, James Gilmet, had an upfront check. That was that came from left field. We didn't realize that there was going to be that requirement. So the increase in the account came from a donation, and originally they put their,
So you have an account through our
just
town
through
accounts,
Nemrick,
just
just
through
through
Nemrick.
Nemrick.
Okay,
but it's not an account,
that's-
yeah,
stop, we're going in circles.
okay, good,
Set up a checking account, administer what, they give you an invoice, they pay this,
right,
we
right.
approve it.
Right,
it
it all
goes,
works out,
done, move on.
So the two motions that I need, or one motion inclusive of two, is for the select board to approve the grant agreement resolution, and that you approve me to open a separate checking account through People's Trust. Those are the two, and this is the resolution if you'd like to look at it. And it would need to be signed as well.
Is that gonna be happening this fall?
Yes, it'll be done by November, end of November,
In November or by November?
by November. Hopefully it's gonna be starting the first week of August. We don't have that date yet. He's gonna give us 3 days' notice.
So the
Thanks,
first one-
James.
So the second one is open a checking account, authorize you to open a second. The first one is
To approve the resolution,
To allow you to get the money.
to allow us to.
And this is 100% funded, right?
Yes.
It's 100% funded.
Yes.
So once we start getting that money back, we can continue to pay.
We'll be circulating,
Hopefully it won't go.
not conversation, but money.
Okay, I make a motion that we approve the grant agreement resolution
The,
For the pavilion
Form.
project.
PM-1, and we also authorize our town administrator to open a checking account to distribute said funds.
I'll second that.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good, thanks.
All right, well, thanks.
Have a great night.
Yeah.
Thank you.
See you later.
Considering
Is that your goodies that are on the side of the road? Is that your farm, the barn that?
Well, kind of, but
Yeah,
no.
okay.
That's a long conversation.
Okay, okay.
It's the old
Anyways, good luck.
part with stuff from there and it's stuff from camp,
Okay.
down at camp. So my
Sounds
cousin,
a wood stove advertised, I'm gonna call you.
yeah, it was in the Berners camp that they had down there.
Oh, okay,
It's a
okay.
big one, it's
Okay.
old,
Yeah,
but
good.
it's yours.
Okay.
Come and get it,
Always look for steel. Yeah,
come and get
okay, cool.
it. Yeah.
Bring 4 men.
Got a tractor, I'll drive over with forks.
I think you cook pizzas in that.
Yeah, hey, there
Thank you.
Morris going to sleep right there.
He likes that couch.
This, where's this couch?
we go. Could we, make a motion to approve the minutes?
I'll second that.
Dated 27 June.
Good to me.
You were here, so probably you were there too.
Any comments, errors, or amendments to it?
Oh, I think we're good.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Who wants to go first?
Morris is on the schedule first,
Okay.
usually.
All right, Morris, you're up.
The sidewalk, well, that's down to Champlain Equipment. Got some kind of issue with the, we gotta put a jumper wire to where we could use it. So, shop technician, don't know what's a computer, what it is, so that's where it is. We'll work on it next week.
Could keep the wire going.
Yeah, it's the safety's gonna, we take off and go back and forth without, so. Hopefully something simple. What else? The Jewelry Bridge project we started out today.
Congratulations. It's exciting.
And it looks like things will move pretty good.
What's that mean? Well, is that time frame? Is that,
Hope 90
90
could
days?
be, but,
Yeah, before the winter.
yeah, oh yeah.
We also had a meeting last week and Stantec gave us, or a couple weeks ago, Stantec gave us a calendar. If you're interested. And also I brought the meeting minutes if you're interested in that too, all the contact
Thank
information.
you.
is included.
Thank you.
See, I saw the same on one day. Boy.
Oh, man.
Do we have any commitments to that?
No, I came to that meeting and I
Permits not in place.
they trucking all the stuff.
Is that right?
Everything's done.
Didn't have much good to say about
About whom?
Giuliani.
About the guy running it now?
We don't have any in-kind
No, my,
match, so.
no, day there, we're,
Yeah, Tyler did not come to the meeting, he sent, let me see who he sent. Luke Wiley. Representing him, who's an engineer with Reggiano.
Any concerns, Mo, or any?
no, they,
No?
stayed on, the deck, I call it the deck. Precast actually had a slot open up, so they already got them built, so
Nice,
they figured in August they're gonna build them, but they already got them built.
nice.
They are meeting us. Yeah, so that's always a positive.
Good.
Last meeting, we talked about our sand bid. Right, it was $15 a yard. Morgan's was $10 a yard. And we brought up about kind of what the trucks and stuff about many, figuring 12 loads.
Oh, what was the second one? Wrights was 15 and who was 10?
Tom, or Tom's. Figure 12 loads would be, you're talking fuel wise, 5 gallons a load.
I was just curious. I
No,
don't think it
no.
was gonna be a.
No, I didn't, you guys brought it up, and I had to, come back with numbers.
Yeah, no, I was just curious. So, how many miles is it? Or
I don't,
12 loads in a day, 8 hours, 10 hours?
yeah.
What's right, is there, they come in with that tractor trailer setup, or do they do it with
Yeah.
the tractor trailer?
Yeah. Flow boys, as they call them.
You guys have time to truck it?
Yeah. Figure out how many yards you can get from moving a lot.
What have we done? 2 to 1?
If we have, we use
Split it the last few years. Do you remember exactly what it was?
1/3, 2/3.
I thought we tried to do 2 to 1. You guys have been.
Part of the reason we did it, so in the wintertime, they had a stockpile, so if we got caught, in a year, we used a lot of stuff
Last year, we had a lot of problems with rates
with the sand.
Yes.
in Jimmy's truck.
The stones, they got cleaning it up too much and stone.
Did you bring that up to rates?
Yep,
And they said, tough luck.
didn't say nothing. It's on deck.
So they screened it, but they just,
Yeah.
where they kept it or whatever, they were going too deep when they were loading up.
Yeah, that issue there.
And you figured you had, how many yards do we think we gotta get? 5? 5,000?
Figured, get it measured and take, do better, but I figured 2,000 airs, so.
So we need 5 or 6 to get through a winter, don't we? So we gotta have at least 4,000 yards. And last year you had it filled right, pretty much to
Oh, yeah, we had it also.
I said, yeah, 400 or 500 yards, that's like.
Yeah, so if you figured without doing fuel, if you did trucks at $100 an hour, it costs about $5 a yard to truck it.
raw products, the same price, it's
Yeah.
trucking.
Did you have enough problems with rights that you want to go 50-50 this year, or is it?
We had a stumble, we had good luck before. It's,
Depends if they had a hole in the screen that day.
I think
So you don't.
just last year we had problems there.
Okay, we're 2 to 1.
I just think you'd need, because you don't stockpile any for the winter, right?
Sometimes we do. Yeah. I mean, depends how much everybody takes, you know.
Right.
Everybody seems to be hungry for it, we got, well, I should say we about is 2,000-3,000 yards right now.
If you figure $100 an hour.
Kind of in a way, can't really do our.
Right. No, I'd like to buy some
I
from
mean,
you guys and buy
back
something
paying.
right, but I'd rather get the majority from you. I just like the fact to have some backup stuff, because we get caught for backup.
We talking what, 25 and 1,500?
I don't care if it's 3,000 and 1,500.
What'd you say, we need another $3,000?
We figure we're gonna
3,000
need,
yards?
we gotta have 3 to 5.
Right, but we have 2 now.
2 in.
Figuring roughly.
Right, rough.
We've set up for 6,000 before, and I mean, if we're lucky, we have 1,500, 2,000 left, right?
Yeah, well,
If it depends
Last
on the
year-
year.
last year we had a good year with the sand because it warmed up enough and the ice softened up.
Yeah,
And you can get a winter that you get a freezing rain
yeah.
and it's all ice, hard ice, and it takes a lot then. You know, you dump it, go back and forth.
Well, we basically figure we need 5 in that shed.
Yeah.
To be safe to start. We've
Well,
got
I need to, Bill, how much do they keep up by your place then? On average?
It's 1,000 yards there probably, ain't there, more?
Yeah,
Easily.
yeah,
And you tend to use that up most years?
No.
No, half up?
yeah. They said last year was such a year.
Yeah.
I can't predict the winter, we don't know that.
No,
So let's, we think we need around 3,000 yards, let's get, do you wanna get 2,000 from rights and 1,000 from?
No, we need 4,000 there.
we
You
need
need
four
four.
of that.
Okay.
4, that's,
I'd say do 3 and
Also.
1 or something. Can you guys, do you have time enough and things work so you can do 3,000 yards? Because that's gonna take you a while. You know, I know you gotta work down here on this. And,
the Jeweler project, we don't,
oh, you don't?
no, I talked to Matt that day, I was talking in here, and I went out to his best, and, you know,
Well, you would have time enough to do.
yeah,
And is it, I guess another question I've got is it easier to push up into that pile when you use the town trucks? Because of the size of the load you get at the time? Is it easier with,
if, like, it is, if we're drawn, there's somebody in a loader, you're backing in and it's getting pushed up, way,
right?
you know,
I
it's,
mean, the town trucks, I mean, town trucks get back in, that trailer parks it at front of the.
Kind of out in front on the landing there, right? So you could do a lot more pushing
Right,
with the loader.
right.
I mean, I would say 3,000 and 1,000.
You know, if they drew,
That's just my opinion.
if they drew that first and then put rights in the front, you
Yeah,
know, they wouldn't be so bad to push.
right, because
Town trucks get back in and dump inside.
that's what I would suggest is you figured we're gonna need 4,500 or 4,000?
you have 2 there and you get 4, that makes 6.
Yeah.
If we,
You may decide once you get that in there, you need some piled outside to start like you did last year.
So you're thinking truck 3, have rights bring 1,000?
Yeah, just see where we go and find out exactly how full we are. We may decide we need a pile like last year outside. Cause you used that up first and now you try to do
yeah,
that last
that's
year.
what we do,
Get rid of that, so.
yeah,
slow
or freeze
down.
hard and.
You got 3,000 up there now?
I would say pretty near.
Is that something you'd get onto right off or would you?
Yeah, I'll go home and sleep first, but.
I joke. You were sleeping over there, so I think you could
I need a little bit more sleep, I tell you. I get up way too early for some reason. Yeah.
Let's
No,
order
I plan on
1,000.
getting on it.
Yeah, order 1,000 from rights right now. That way we keep,
Yeah, but you don't want it until after you get the stuff and get done with the trucks. So you don't want it right now,
And they come in and,
doesn't matter.
like I said, I've had somebody on the loader, so.
And they got you get your blade there for the front and
And
everything.
now what makes it hard sometimes, right, because they'll do some, and they get on another project, then come back.
Yeah.
If, you know, tell them we're gonna be hauling, I'd like to start right off and do it.
And it's drier.
Yeah,
That's a nice part of
it.
it. You know, it's drier, it sits in there and it dries out some.
Plus, right side and off, sometimes you can late at night too.
Yeah.
You get that 2 piles or so in the front.
It's like,
yeah, let's do that. And worst come to worst, in a month, if you guys are out straight and you don't have time to truck it, we order some more.
How's that budget line, Kathy, for the sand?
I just gave the budget to, I can look at last month.
you got one here somewhere.
And take a look at this one.
Yeah. 50.
It should be fine, it's, winter maintenance is huge.
Did blacktopping in East Fairfield, did that go over budget?
Not supposed to.
It's supposed to be done right.
What came in, but.
It looks
I
good.
got a voicemail. He said came
Yeah, we're,
in budget.
we actually, as of last month, we hadn't spent any money on winter sand yet. So
It's a 50,000
It's
Your
50,000,
budget?
yeah, budget.
budget, 50,000.
Feels to be over budget.
King,
It is coming down.
yeah, it's showing slip today,
Yeah,
down under 5.
We were in Burlington yesterday, and gas, one place was 20 something cents more than St. Albans. I thought that was bizarre. I don't know why Middlebury's always one of the cheapest places, like that place up in
Eden?
Oh, that
Troy.
place on the highway?
Troy, that little garage around the back. I don't know if they truck their own out of Canada or what. They're always 20 something cents on there.
I say there's a store in the middle of the Moosehead, it's always 10 or 15 cents cheaper than everybody else.
Well, gas was cheaper in St. Albans than it was at Costco. I said, that doesn't make a lot of sense. That's supposed to be their big
I bought fuel oil last week and it was $4.99.
$4.99 a gallon.
No, $5.99. No, $4.99.
Why don't you get?
$500 for 100
We
gallons.
don't have nothing else.
Is that truck come in yet?
I want to call Sandy Tay, see what,
Yeah, because it was supposed to be in the 1st of
Bill-
July.
yeah, supposed to be built June 2nd, and then
Yeah.
supposed to been here.
Backhoe come yet?
Yep,
How do you like it?
good.
He was up shining up the baby the other day there and went by.
Yeah. Check it out, greasing it up.
Looked good.
Everything
Probably sad to
good
see
and
one
tight.
with 8,000 hours leaving the yard.
You know,
Yeah.
I actually got Brian, Finnegan Road, that's where Brian Horgan is. We put our collar in there today.
At Jewel Road, we don't have any match, that we, in-kind match,
We do have an in-kind match, yeah.
but we're not doing anything, so how are we gonna cover that?
I have to do the math, I think. What we haven't received from FEMA yet is the, something that looks like what we just received from the state for the Pavilion grant. It's the agreement that has the number in it, and they wouldn't give us that number until we had Stantec bid in there. All of the permitting was finished, all of the posting was done.
You're keeping track of every minute you spend on that
I
project.
have to keep a track
Because
of every
That's
minute.
part of our
Right,
Income.
income,
Administering the grant.
I know, they don't want to, they're gonna do it all themselves, but we may wanna do something just so.
Yeah, I just know, I talked to Matt,
Yeah.
you know,
Tell them that might be, yeah. Make them aware that part of this grant money we were getting
Right.
was some in-kind labor of our trucks.
we keep track of any trucking, any kind of labor that has to do with this, and all our timesheets have, that accounted for. Separately.
They trucking the old asphalt or something, you know, anything.
Jewel Road, you know.
Not much asphalt over there.
Ain't nothing.
I just see it on here, remove asphalt, but.
Don't know. Didn't see nothing there, but.
Your grants and aid this year is Ridgeway up the road, right? Still?
Yep.
And that, did you start that? I wasn't sure
No.
if you didn't start that. We did get the estimate, so we had a proposal from the grants and aid, V-Trans for grants and aid for FY '23 next summer. Originally their offer was $42,000, their final offer came in today at $45,000 for the town of Fairfield. And this year we have, I think, 24,000, so that's a significant increase for next year.
Yeah.
And we haven't identified a project for that one yet.
25 to 34, you said?
It went up from 42,000 to 45,000 from the initial offer to the final offer.
Okay.
So, you guys made Sam, 2,000 Horgan, 1,000 Rex. That's all I got.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Go take an apple.
You're right. That's quick.
Thank you, Morris.
Yeah,
See you
thank you
later.
guys.
Yeah, keep after old Sandy, find out where that truck is.
Yeah, I'll give them calls tomorrow. I actually went around down there yesterday, when I come back from Burlington. See if it's
See your toys outside?
I didn't want to bike and see if it's outside yet or.
No, that's for the.
Look, the wrong one. Yeah.
Night, Mo, thank you.
Yeah, good night, guys.
Thanks, Mo.
So it's that time that every other year, election years, the Republicans and the Democrats have to have caucus to set up the board for nominees of justice of the peace. So the Republicans are gonna caucus on the 20th, which is a week from Wednesday at 5:30. The Democrats are gonna caucus on August 3rd. The past few times, we've ended up with pretty much primarily Democratic JPs, which makes it very hard during elections. So it seems like we have plenty of people on the Democrat side willing to put their name in. So if anybody can think of anybody interested on the Democrat side, because at elections, you're supposed to have both parties working. So if anybody has any ideas of anybody that would be interested, either way, Republican or Democrat, the two caucuses are coming up. The Republican is the 20th.
So an independent can't be,
No, an independent can.
Progressive, anyway.
But these are the two
major,
independent don't have to caucus. They can just come in and get their
say
name.
one.
Yeah, they have to fill out a form, but, which is fine. Independent's fine, just, I'd like to see more diversity on our JPs. So anyway, the other piece is we have a brand new tabulator and I'm doing a training for the BCA on Wednesday, the 20th at 5:30. So the Republican caucus is at 5. I just sent out an email because I just realized the 20th is next week already. That's what happens when you take a week off the beginning of July. So,
Don't do that again.
no, I'll do it again next year. So anyway, next Wednesday, the 20th at 5:30, we're gonna do the testing of the ballots and do a little tutorial on the new tabulator, which I'm just as bad as everybody else. I've seen the PowerPoint and so things are a little bit different. So I'm having trying to get the JPs together so to kind of answer questions before election day. Now for the good news. Tax rates went down for education. So on the first page, you have this year, the second page is last year. Homestead is down 0.0629 and non-homestead is down 0.1087. Plan is the first meeting of August, should be when you set the tax rate, and then tax bills will go out at the end of August. Right now, we haven't had any requests for grievances, except one situation that James is supposed to be handling. However, I haven't got an update on how that's progressing. But, so I think I gotta do a couple reports just to make sure none of the non-taxables show up as a taxable, but looks like.
Have they assessed everybody and some done?
No, that's 2023.
Oh, some driving around.
No, they've done a good chunk. They've done a lot of the north end. They actually.
Are they in the computer yet? I haven't still been able to access mine.
You get sketches and pictures. There's no assessed value. There's not gonna be any values until everything's in.
But the thing they stuck on my door 6 months ago.
The code doesn't work? Okay, shoot me an email and next time they're in here, I can have them look at it. I can look at it.
Because I've gone in with people's codes but it's just basically a sketch and a picture at this
Yeah,
point.
There's not much
Yeah.
detail.
No values. Did have a complaint today that there's no values, but they, that'll come. Everybody will get their reappraisal
Yeah.
letter, so.
I was surprised that like in my house, the only the house that they have was in that, the sugar house down below, none of the other buildings were even in there, but.
That'll be, something that, have to be,
It's fine with me.
No,
Well, no,
you're gonna
no,
make
no.
them share.
no. I actually, last week, I met, the one Scott who is doing the, farms. I met him at, the farm so he could, go over the outbuildings and get in the tenement house and my mother's house and everything.
He measured everything, but in that,
Oh, he hasn't put them, oh, okay,
yeah, they weren't in that.
okay.
You don't have to let them in the house anyway, do you?
Well,
COVID, I don't.
okay, well, if you're not gonna let them in, if anybody has a grievance, they're gonna have to go in.
Right.
See.
They don't even try to go in. They
But,
came in my garage because it's 20 below.
but
It's like,
the other
okay,
piece is, you can pretty much gauge, by the age of the house, and there's a lot of factors they look at. But, anyway, so I think that's all I have. I do have dessert though, because Brian can't go home without dessert.
Oh, sure, it's all about Brian.
Used to be,
Yeah, Chuck.
It used to,
Chuck.
no, it used to be
Chuck.
Jean, it used to be Jean.
Yeah, well.
Chuck.
Chuck traveled with Chuck for 3-4
Chuck would have it
weeks.
gone before he was here.
Or
Well, he-
stop in and eat dessert before he went.
Yeah.
Thanks, Linda.
So, yeah.
So, other than the things that we've already talked about, I have minutes from the pre-construction meeting, which I thought you might want us to have. It has all of the, who's doing what and how, which organization, which responsible party assigned to what part of the project.
What project are we
We're talking about Jouer Road. So the Jouer Road pre-construction conference was 2 Fridays ago, and it was convened by Stantec, and we had representatives from the town, Stantec and St. Ange, and we went through all of the different ways in which this project is going to proceed, and all of the details are in this. So I thought I'd just bring it instead of having the meeting, just give you these, and then if you had any questions, you can let me know.
I'd like to Doug wants to talk too, I'd like to revisit that, the grant and maps and,
I can
Thank you.
bring that to you next week, at the next meeting, hopefully we'll have something from FEMA that shows how much money they're gonna give us. That'll give us the amount that we need to then, the percentage for match. I think it's
right?
only 10%. They're gonna reimburse 90% of the project.
So, screwed either way, right? Because if we go truck gravel for them, that's part of their bid. They're gonna take the money for it anyways.
No, I know that, but we need to know what the match is.
Right.
David, did I hand one of these to you? You want one?
Yes, it's right here in front of me. I'm sorry.
No problem.
You gave me one.
Okay, thank you. No problem.
So we can discuss this next meeting,
We can
right?
discuss
We
it
don't need
next
to.
meeting. Yeah, we don't need
No,
to.
you're right. We need to know what is the FEMA's wording say? What have we got to put forth on the project?
So, and just
I'll give
to
you yours after meal.
remember, we did transfer, I can't remember the exact number, $140,000 from our capital fund CD to the general fund, so to cover this project in the beginning, so for the beginning. And then we do have a $600,000 loan in advance of the grant, so the grant is. And then the only other thing is that I had last week off. It was very nice. I came back and V-Trans has a local highway finance report that I'll be working on, and then the Madison National Life Insurance Company has a census I'll be working on. And that's basically it. I wanted to make sure that we had covered the pavilion, Ware Road. That's where we are at this point.
And what?
V-Trans every 2 years has a local highway finance report that shows how, good night.
Good night, Linda, thank you.
How federal, grant money, it's not fair federal money that goes to V-Trans has been spent, so.
Great.
Um,
And what was the other thing?
and the other one is a census for Madison National Life Insurance Company, which they do every year. It's
Madison Life Insurance?
Madison National Life Insurance. The payment for the backhoe is in our AP this week. And our final payment to Jonathan is in our payroll. Just a little heads up on those.
Cool.
You have one other money thing you wanted to tell them
Oh, there's one other money thing I wanted to tell you about. Thank you.
about. No problem.
Yes, okay. So, and I have to find the,
150, no, 220,
yeah, something like that.
220.
So, you might remember that months ago, when we were putting together our budget, there was a request from our recording secretary for a laptop in order to keep track of our minutes, which was denied. The new laptop that our recording secretary is using is hers, and it doesn't include Microsoft Office software, which would cost a little over $100 to download onto the,
No, 200 you said.
oh, 229. I have to find it, it's in my file here somewhere. Hold on. So what's happened is, oh, there it is, okay. So it's $124, we looked at two things. So
Oh, right.
$124 to download Microsoft Office. The reason this would be helpful is because, and this is coming from me, what has been happening is the minutes and the agendas are being drafted on Google Docs. And through that process of receiving the link, downloading, formatting, and forwarding the documents, it's really very cumbersome, and not all parties who work in this office would like to manage a new program and try to open a new program under their own name in order to view those documents. I would suggest that it would make sense for us to just download that, offer this amount to the recording secretary so that we can either offer
You need
the amount.
Microsoft.
She needs
You want
Microsoft,
Microsoft
Yeah, I'm not
Office.
buying it personally
Yeah.
because I don't need
Oh,
it. I
that's
can do
fine.
everything
That's
on Google
but it's
Docs,
really important for our organization, I think,
For
the
that.
process.
but I'm not paying for it.
Right.
I paid
Right, but Google
$1,500
Docs
for
are
this
easy to
computer
share.
that you guys
You've
wouldn't
got
pay
one
for.
original.
I'm sorry, what? I've had a hard time.
Google Docs isn't,
So when you receive the link, in order to download, you have to in a Word document, you have to reformat it in order to eliminate a line break. And then that is how I can
just
forward
do
it.
it.
I mean, it's really, it gets
Yeah.
cumbersome and complicated,
Yeah.
and it's not helpful or efficient for all of the parties in this office.
Get it and get it done.
Awesome, so you'll see that in our next AP. Thank you. And that's it that's all I have.
I don't have anything. No.
I'll make a motion to accept the warrants.
Second.
All those in favor?
Is there anything else we gotta go through?
On the old business on the agenda, the energy audit, you were kind enough to share both the quotes that we got. One was for 5,000 plus and one was for 600.
Right.
And the one for 600, they said they couldn't get to it till March 23rd. I'd like to say we go with a $600 audit, get on the schedule with them, and have a bigger discussion that we kind of kicked off last meeting on what we're gonna do with the common school, but at least get on the Vermont Energy Co-op's waiting list for a year. And the higher quote, although might have been useful for turning that into a grant, I was kind of disappointed with all the things they wouldn't do. When I read, like, they were very, very specific on what they were gonna do. And I'm sure it's a better audit, 10 times the money, but I just don't think we're there yet. I mean, I think there's too much ambiguity about what we're gonna do with the school, so my thought is,
The simple audit just gives a little more in depth. Than
Yeah,
just a walk.
yeah, at least get on the waiting list, and if we change our minds and we have some revelation about what we're gonna do.
Yeah, I agree.
But
Okay. Is that should we have a motion to accept the bid from Energy Co-op of Vermont?
I make a motion, we accept the bid from Energy Co-op of Vermont for $600.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
I'll call. Thank you.
Okay, under new business, finishing the Fairfield Pond kind of conversation. Doug stayed, you didn't have to stay, I'm glad you did. Ron was the former president of Fairfield Pond Association. Demetrius just is our outgoing Bullduck. And Doug was a previous in time before for the Pond Association. It seems like what I would like to ask the select board to consider is, deputizing Ron and I, or anyone who wants to, just call the village of Swanton and say, do you have an interest in this land? Or if they don't have an interest, it seems like the maintenance of the pond level is being neglected, and it's having repercussions. And the experts that are gonna do the survey are gonna come up with their own opinions. So, I mean, we can almost defer, but anecdotally, that's what's happening. If you drive over there, there's no outflow going out of the outlet. The beaver dam is higher than it's ever been in the past.
Is this over by Peter Martin's place?
No,
Sam White's Road, you know the white,
The white hair in the corner,
Okay,
where the Christmas trees are.
okay,
right across from Sally's,
yeah.
there's an
So
outlet there.
basically, the guys who live on the hill overlooking the pond don't like it. But those of us that live in the swamps over in the lowlands, it's great.
No, this is
great,
nothing-
great, because
this
I
has
can back my
nothing-
boat in now.
Yeah. Well, okay, but no, the only reason I'm bringing it up is, the whole theme is water quality. And we're eroding banks, and people at the Pond Association were saying, I have a wall that is no longer, is caving in, and, walls are caving in are one thing, but it's eroding banks because it's high, and it's,
I mean, I can't believe that they wouldn't mind if you, worked at that dam, dug it out a little bit.
well, here's what I'll tell you, there's a property owner that's been pulling down the dam, he's just pulling down the dam, and, so, first of all, I'd like to ask, I mean, I'm not gonna do it on my own, but if the select board, I'd like to know what their interest is on that land, if they have any
Down in
interest.
Swanton.
Yeah, the village of Swanton is on our tax roll. I don't think they're a taxpayer, but they own the land.
Yeah.
It's a 2.6 acre lot, so I'd like to, maybe the rec department would have an interest in it. They probably had an interest when they put the pipeline in, so they could, it's a man-made dam.
Yeah, it's man-made. That's why they purchased the land.
Yeah, they purchased the land, they
Control
drew,
the depth of the, just like Reach used to up to that other place, they control the flow of the water.
That's
Yeah,
what
I'm
it
sure-
is now. You're gonna have to earn it now.
Yeah.
We surely don't want to lower the dam, the dam itself.
No, but I'm just, the beavers are the problem, and you just keep,
well, look, I know a lot about beavers, and I just know that's not really a solution, that we're looking for a more comprehensive solution. and they have you could put a standpipe that is beaver tamper free. Cause they make them. They make standpipes that they're designed that the beavers can't obstruct. I've seen them, you know, they have in national parks in Canada, and there's the technology out there that could be done. And so I think it'll be interesting. We had Kent here last meeting, talked about water quality on the pond. They're gonna come up with some determinations. They're gonna look at roads, they're gonna look at tributaries. The outflow is a part of it, trying to keep the pond at a level that doesn't erode land is really important. So I think at a minimum, we could ask the village of Swan, do they have any interest in that land? You know, if they don't.
I think there's some ties to that though, as far as farms
Oh, yeah.
downstream.
Yeah.
So if we took it over, we gotta all make sure we
Maintain the
have,
level.
yeah, and we, we're gonna be responsible for maintaining the level. Yeah.
Well, even as I sat here, I thought maybe there's an easier way to do this instead of even getting involved with setting the level there. You go to the Ralph farm or the Macy farm and say, hey, look, the appropriate, you know, this, you know, like text them and say, turn the spigot on. You know, because we already got a way to keep the level down. What I'm saying is, Dennis Hendy's been breaking up that dam for 3 years.
Yeah.
And it's, you know, at some point, it's not his land. You know, he could get in, you know, I think we should formalize, you know, even have an agreement with Swan or have them say, hey, look, it's your obligation to ensure water quality on Fairfield Pond. You own the land, you maintain it, but at least have a dialogue, you know, and I wanted this board to say, what do you think, you know, and if I think we could learn some history of that, you know, before we start, you know, one individual messing with the dam, you know, beaver dam is one thing, but
I think the beaver dam's not big, I haven't been over lately.
it's big, it's big.
And just the minute, I mean, we said this in public meeting already, there's so much red tape that goes with any dam or man-made, oh God, I can only imagine the bullshit that goes on with that.
Well, that's why,
I get it,
I'm not suggesting a course of action. I would like to talk to the village of Swan and say, hey, what's your interest?
See what the interest.
You know, what's the history? What are the?
let's see what the stipulations, what's there. Is it just everybody forgot about it and there's nothing there? But is control of that dam been assigned to A&R, Civil, Army Corps? I mean, most of those dams are not just willy-nilly setups,
I know there's some regulations about keeping the water flow.
Right.
That's Swan's responsibility.
and there's a pipe underneath the dam to do that, right?
No, there's a pipe on the northwest corner of Fairfield Pond that goes gravity feed.
There's a pipe through the dam.
No, through the dam to ensure water flow.
There's a pipe through the dam.
Well, there isn't any water going through it now.
No, because the beavers flow.
Yeah.
But it's about this big around.
Well, so,
Cause that pond's what, all spring fed?
There's some stream, but
There's 3 streams,
Yeah.
small.
But is it springs underneath too that creek?
yeah.
So, what are you looking for? What are you hoping will go?
I would just like, I'd like to be able to contact the village of Swan and say, hey, I'm on the Fairfield Selectboard. I've been asked to just ask for the history. What are your interests? You know, but I don't want to do it without the board saying, yeah, go talk to them.
That makes sense to me.
Yeah, don't hurt to find out.
Yeah, just say we're having a
Yeah, I
problem
just
with
want to
that.
be formal about it. I want to say to, the
Yeah.
village of Swan, what's the history? What are your interests? What are your obligations? What is the contract to these farmers? What are the, when I heard there's fire hydrants on the pipe, I'm like, oh, that's getting,
But you're not gonna take out the original dam, so long as you don't put the water below the original dam, you're fine.
Right, let's
If
find
you
out
have,
who's
see what their
controlling
their
that
obligation,
corner
what
of the
they
dam
say with
level.
it.
So the water line that runs out over on the beach end?
Yes.
That's one they can't locate or haven't been able to locate?
Correct.
I didn't find it last summer, they're out there.
They found the valve.
What were they gonna do if they found it?
Well, they're trying to, I don't know if they actually got it to work. My sister-in-law remembered where it was from when she was a kid. And showed them where she thought it was. They actually found the valve where its location is, and they were working to try to get it to operate. I don't know if they actually made progress in making it operate or not.
So it's under water quite a ways, or?
Oh, no, it's only,
I was gonna say.
it's only like 12 feet out from the high water line where the valve is. It is under the water, but it's only about 12 feet out.
The valve,
The valve itself.
not the end of the pipe.
Right. No, the end of the pipe is
Wait.
way the hell out there.
So there's a valve 12 feet from the shoreline, and the end of the pipe goes out a couple hundred feet?
Oh, more than that.
Yeah,
Probably out in the middle of the pond.
no, don't go middle of the pond, but it goes quite a little ways.
Yeah.
You can see it if it's clear day. and-
Yeah.
Oh, you can see it actually laying on the floor of the pond?
Well, they covered it all, when they put it in, they covered it with rocks,
Okay.
and you can see it all the way out through.
Yeah, and this is kind of in the background of following up of when Kent and Evan Fitzgerald, who is the engineer of record, they're gonna do a survey of the whole pond.
Mm-hmm.
And they're gonna put together, he said 30 projects, and maybe we'll come up with funding for 5 or something. But this is all part of that water quality, because it is at such a level, right? I mean, the erosion is happening because it's higher than it traditionally is.
How much do you think, is it 6 inches?
Oh, no, it's more, way more than that.
Right now, it's about 1.5 feet.
Yeah, I'd say it's 1.5 feet.
Yeah.
And usually this is like spring level, and then, it kind of tapers down. So, but this is like, it's consistently high, so you got new banks that are being formed. Okay, that's all I want. I just wanted to, I'll go and find out some things, but I'll do it on behalf of the board, and then we can,
Discuss it.
yeah, I didn't want to go Lone Ranger, that's all.
No, door.
And I, like people are saying geese, I say, hey, that's federally, and there's a lot of, levels, and I'm sure there's all kinds of regulations, but first, just get the
Have a
history.
conversation, figure out where it's at.
Okay, thank you.
I'll make a motion to adjourn then.
Oh, Doug, you got anything?
No, I just wanted to
That's it?
see how you guys went with the pond, because on our property, we're losing trees all the way down through. We got about 2,000 feet of water frontage, and well over half of that is wetland, and the trees are just falling into the lake. We've lost at least a half a dozen.
Like white birches or
Oh no, these are maples.
maples, really?
Excellent fish habitat. I encourage you to raise the water level another foot.
Really fun to kayak.
Yeah, no, it's a big deal. It's a big deal.
Yeah, because-
Last year, all the beavers were at the other end, so they
Right.
were damming the thing up. Now they've all moved back to the outlet.
Yeah.
Swan comes up every once in a while, pulls it out.
yeah.
Matter of fact, I see their truck up there today, but no backhoe.
They'll have it built by morning.
Yeah, that's the problem. They took it out on a Wednesday, and by Saturday, it was all built back.
Let's make a motion to adjourn.
They didn't make, I made a motion to adjourn.
I second that.
Well, we'll see.